Let's forget about psychology and all that empty motivation for a minute. Today, we are going straight to the source code of physical presence. We're going to break down 9 primal rules for projecting strength, stability, and what our source calls the heavy frame.
Okay, first things first, a quick diagnostic. Just check in with your body right now, wherever you are. How are you positioned? Is your neck kind of bent forward, looking down? Because believe it or not, that posture is sending a loud, clear signal, one that's been hardwired into our DNA for thousands of years.
You know, for our ancestors, their value was pretty much measured by the physical load they could carry. Their bodies were like rock. But modern life, well, it's made us soft. Machines do all the heavy lifting now, and the result? We've lost that physical hardness. We've lost that heavy frame energy that signals to the world and to ourselves that we can handle pressure.
So that's what this is all about, reclaiming that physical presence. We're going to walk through the 9 primal rules from our source material, and we're focusing strictly on your skeleton, your muscles, and your constant, everyday war with gravity.
All right, let's start from the ground up. This first set of rules is all about creating a foundation that's so stable it communicates power before you even have to say a single word.
Okay, rule number 1. Your spine is a stone column. Now, this isn't just your mom telling you to have good posture. This is a declaration. When you align your ears, shoulders, and hips, you're sending a powerful testosterone signal to your own body. The source says to walk into a room as if you're supporting the ceiling, but, and this is the real key, as if that weight doesn't bother you one bit.
Next up, where's your energy centered? See, most people live up in their chests, on their toes, and that is the energy of panicked prey. So rule 2 is to sync your center of gravity. Put your weight on your heels and the outer edges of your feet. Literally imagine an anchor dropping from your tailbone right down into the ground. In any tense situation, this is what turns you into an immovable mountain.
And this starts from your core. Rule 5 is about what the source calls primal stabilization, and it's all about your breath. Forget that shallow chest breathing. That just triggers a fight-or-flight response. The technique here is to breathe deep into your belly, inflating it to create this internal pressure that supports your spine from the inside. Not only does this make you way more stable, but it gives your voice this undeniable, unshakable authority.
This brings us to rule 8. You know, it's one thing to look strong when you're moving, but true mastery is being powerful in stillness. When you're just standing, like waiting in line, distribute your weight evenly on both legs. Don't collapse onto one hip or shove your hands in your pockets. This kind of static endurance, well, it's the ultimate outward sign of some serious inner discipline.
Okay, so let's move into our next section. Now that we have the foundation set, we're going to look at the rules for actually projecting that presence outward, using your body as a kind of silent language.
So, rule number 3 is absolutely crucial, and it's all about the shoulders. Whenever we feel stressed or threatened, our primal instinct is to pull our shoulders inward. The source calls this the victim reflex, and it's basically a subconscious move to protect our vital organs from an attack.
So the counter move isn't just to pull your shoulders back, it's to open them outward. Think about expanding your ribcage, almost like a suit of armor. What this does, importantly, is leave your throat exposed. It's a physical code that just says, there is nothing here that can possibly harm me. It's not about being aggressive, it's about pure presence.
And this leads us right into rule 4, the stone face. The source material is really direct here. In the primal world, showing pain meant showing a weak spot. So when you're under physical or mental stress, the goal is to release your facial muscles. No grimacing, no tight jaw, no furrowing your brow. It perfectly illustrates this idea that your struggle is your own, and to the outside world, you are in complete control.
Okay, so with our base and our presence established, let's look at how this whole frame operates when it's in motion, because your movement, especially your walk, is like the signature of your confidence in the world.
Rule 6 is all about your walking rhythm. So, ask yourself, are you a slave to time? You know, taking fast, short steps, always looking like you're trying to catch up, or do you command the destination? A primal walk, according to the source, is all about long, powerful strides. You move with this steady momentum, and you'll notice something really interesting. People will instinctively make way for you.
Now, what about when you're actually carrying something heavy? Rule 7 is to integrate the load. Don't just fight against the weight of a heavy bag with your muscles. Lean it against your skeleton. Make it one with your body. See, the amateur struggles against the difficulty. The master makes the difficulty a part of them.
All right,
we're rounding the corner to the final rules, and these focus on something most of us completely overlook: control. First, control in stillness, and then, maybe even more importantly, control until the very end of a movement.
So, think about this for a second. When you get home from a long day, do you just throw your jacket on a chair? Or, when you finish a set at the gym, do you just drop the weights with a loud clang? The source suggests that when you treat the end of a task like an escape, you reveal that the control you had before, well, it was probably just an act.
And that brings us to Rule 9, controlled finality. Don't just throw your jacket, place it. Don't drop your bag, set it down deliberately. The point is that the control has to be there through the entire range of motion, from the very beginning to the absolute end.
And this, right here, is the philosophy that ties everything together. If your strong posture just collapses the second the task is over, it was all just a performance. The goal is for the heavy frame to remain, even when that external load is gone. It's meant to be a permanent state of being.
So to wrap this all up, look, this modern world, it wants to bend you, it wants to slump your shoulders. But the powerful idea from our source is that the weight you feel, whether it's literal or metaphorical, it's not there to crush you. It's there to give you something to push against, to forge you into a pillar.
And that really leaves us with a final thought to chew on. What if we all chose to carry the weight of the world not as a burden we have to complain about, but as a badge of honor? What if that weight is the very thing that defines our strength?